So, hey guys, welcome to another episode of my Raw Fallout. So, how was WrestleMania, guys? Night 2 of WrestleMania. How was it? I'm just going to chat. I'm going to put in my chat box. So, how was WrestleMania? Night 2. I'm going to put it in my chat. So, in my opinion, WrestleMania Night 2 topped WrestleMania Night 1. Absolutely. It was one of the best WrestleManias that I've seen in just after WrestleMania 40. Yes, Night 2 was actually better. Okay? Because there were, what do you say, pretty good matches were there at WrestleMania Night 2. And that main event stole the show, like just like anything. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, absolute show stealer. It was just like WrestleMania 25 main event between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. So that was a great match between two of the greatest performers in WWE history. So WrestleMania Night 2 was great, man. So I did like WrestleMania Night 2. Now, guys, so let's discuss about the Raw Fallout. So, how was Raw? Actually, the Raw after WrestleMania should be packed with a lot of surprises, title changes. Okay, but I think this Raw actually sucked. There have been call-ups from NXT. Yeah, Sol Ruka came to NXT. Ethan Page came from NXT. Yes, they had great matches. They are now in the main roster. That's all good, but we needed actually a bigger surprises. At least title matches should have been there. And compared to previous Raw after WrestleMania, the Raw after WrestleManias, actually I did not like this week's Raw. It was not up to the standards of Mania Raw, actually. So it could have been made much better, guys. So I'm going to talk about the main event scene. Jacob Fatu challenging Roman Reigns for the the World Heavy Championship. Yeah, every time I'm talking about Roman Reigns title, it's just like that undisputed title. Now Roman Reigns is the new World Heavyweight Champion, man. Good old times are back in the WWE. Oh yeah, baby. So Roman Reigns is the new World Heavyweight Champion, and the first challenger he's going to face it will be Jacob Fatu. You know what's coming, guys. They're going to create a new bloodline. So, what happened in the main event? Jacob Fatu was given an ultimatum. Either he has to acknowledge the tribal chief if he loses, or the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. That's the ultimatum. So, I think Jacob Fatu is going to lose at Backlash, and they need a muscular enforcer for the new bloodline. Jacob Fatu, the Usos, and Roman Reigns are going to create the new Bloodline version 2.0. That's what's going to happen at this Backlash. So that's my opinion. And the Intercontinental Championship scene now is a little bit more uh, aggravated, to be exact. So Rusev wants the championship from Penta. Ethan Page debuting, and he also wants the Intercontinental Championship. Oh, pretty interesting. It will be interesting if Ethan Page claims the Intercontinental title at Backlash. So, that's the thing. And Braun Breaker returning and is starting to create start a feud with Seth Rollins. That will be awesome. So that's up all the main event scene in WWE right now. Actually, the Raw after Mania could have been made much better. So, guys, how do you rate the Raw after Mania? Did you like it? Or could have been made much better? And now we have seen Rhea Ripley. She is going to go to SmackDown to be the Women's Champion, and we have seen the official separation between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. And in the possible down the line, we are going to see Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, champion versus champion match. Maybe at Crown Jewel. We might see that. So, that's on the Raw women's scene. And Sol Ruka debuting. Sol Ruka, one of the greatest high-flying performers, women's performers in WWE right now. It will be interesting. I want her to challenge Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship. So that would have been pretty much interesting. Tribal Chief 0011. Both WrestleMania nights were bad this year. Some matches were of good quality, but overall WrestleMania was 2-star. Yeah. Hi, Nadia Jurgens 737. Hi. Yes. So Tribal Chief 0011 says WrestleMania Night 2 was bad, and my dear friend, I think WrestleMania Night 1 was bad. Night 2 pretty much interesting. It was much better than Night 1, but not to the overall WrestleMania level. I've seen you've seen most of the comments, right? The ladder match and the main event of second night was great. Otherwise, everything was just dumb as hell. Okay. Agreed. What about Finn Balor's match, my dear friend? Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. It was a good match. You could have seen that. You could have agreed on that, my dear friend. I think that match was great too. And yeah, WrestleMania main event was the slobber knocker, in my opinion. It was great. Great, in my opinion. One of the best WrestleMania main events we have seen. They're given more time. You have seen what TKO is doing to WrestleManias every year. 1.5 hour time for wrestling and 2 hours of commercials. That's what night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania was this year. And it's going to get much worse in the coming years as well. At least we had the crowd on our side on this year's WrestleMania. Or even 4.5. Tribal Chief 011 said, or even 4.5. What's that, my dear friend? What's 4.5? Match rating? 5-star match rating for the main event. That's what you said. And next year's WrestleMania, they confirmed it for Saudi Arabia. The crowd there, not that good. They're not even going to give cheers or applause or anything like that. And I think WrestleMania next year is going to be bad as hell. For Finn Balor versus Dominic, that match 4.5. Yes, agreed. Out of 5, yes, agreed. That match was good. It was. I was personally happy on seeing the Demon return, and you have seen Finn Balor on tonight's Raw. He's back as our old favorite Finn Balor. Just like in the 2016, I hope he gets a heavy push this year, and he goes after Roman Reigns. Maybe they won't. Let him take the World Heavyweight Championship from Roman Reigns. So many contenders are there this year for Roman Reigns World Heavyweight Championship. So many possible matches for the World Heavyweight Championship this year on the Raw roster. Wow, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great summer. From what I've heard, the first challenger is Jacob Fatu, and after that, I think it's going to be Gunther. So Gunther versus Roman Reigns is going to be the match that's going to happen till summer. And at SummerSlam, from what I heard, it will be Obafemi versus Roman Reigns. But I hope it's not Obafemi versus Roman Reigns at the SummerSlam. Because I think Oba versus Roman Reigns is a match that's for destined to be on a WrestleMania, not on SummerSlam, not on Survivor Series, not on Money in the Bank, not on the Royal Rumble. That match should be on WrestleMania. You can make Obafemi versus Gunther or Obafemi versus Braun Breaker on SummerSlam or Royal Rumble, whatever, but do not make Obafemi versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. That's my opinion. I want that match to be at WrestleMania. Yeah, Tribal Chief 011 said the results were better on night 2. Match time was perfect, but the feelings, it wasn't there. The entrances were great, to be honest. Yes. Yeah, the winners of the night 2 actually was great. It was as we expected. So the feelings wasn't there. That's what the Tribal Chief 011 said. I told you every year this is going to get much worse from you under TKO's control. So that's going to happen. And night 2, I think it's one of the great WrestleManias. I think night 2 of this year's WrestleMania was better than both nights of last year's WrestleMania. I hope TKO hears what the fans have to say. I think that's why they restarted the Bloodline story once again. Jacob's going to learn something from Roman. Oba needs some time. Oba versus Roman should be on WrestleMania. Yes, agreed. Oba needs to get some form before getting that title from Roman. Yes, my dear friend, that's what I want to say also. Oba needs a little bit time. Do not rush Oba into the main event title scene till now. Yes, I am agreeing with your opinion, my dear friend, Tribal Chief 0011, because Oba needs some time. Braun versus Roman for the title will be also be good. Yes, it's going to be a spear versus spear match. So with now Brock gone from the WWE, it's up to Roman Reigns to create new stars. Beating Roman will be the next big thing to create new main event top stars. So Roman Reigns should be the one who's going to be passing down the legacy from now on. Now since Brock is gone, Randy Orton, I think beating Randy Orton is not that much of a good thing right now. Because Randy Orton has now become old. He's not that classy old viper. So I think beating Roman Reigns right now is just like beating The Undertaker or beating Brock Lesnar from now on. And next year, Braun versus Oba will kill the ratings. Yes, my dear friend. Just imagine that match. Braun Breaker versus Obafemi, 2 powerhouses going one after the other. That's going to be one of the greatest main events that you have ever seen. It's going to kill the ratings as well. That's a WrestleMania match right there. Braun Breaker versus Gunther or Braun Breaker versus Obafemi, everything like that. That's a main event WrestleMania scene, to be exact. Roman passing torches. Hell nah, he'll always be the main eventer until he retires. Just like The Rock, he won't pass torches. See, that's a thing that I have to disagree on, my dear friend, because Roman has to give back to the company. Roman and Seth. Now it's up to them. You have seen what CM Punk has done. He has passed the torch to Roman Reigns this year. So it's up to Roman to create new stars. Until he retires, if he's on the main event title scene, we won't get new stars. That credibility won't be there. So it's up to Roman. He is now the new Undertaker. He is now the new Brock Lesnar. He is the standard now. So only after beating him can we create new stars. So Brock did that. So that's one thing that I have to disagree on, my dear friend Tribal Chief. He has to do that. Seth Rollins is doing that. Why can't Roman Reigns? Seth Rollins just put over Gunther at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins is going to put over Braun Breaker. So after Braun Breaker beats Seth Rollins, it's Roman Reigns next. So we need young stars. You have seen what AEW is doing. MJF is the top star in AEW. He's just in his 20s or 30s. We don't have guys who are in the main event scene who is in the 20s or the 30s. We need young stars, just like how Roman was created, just like how The Rock was created, just like how John Cena was created. So I think WWE needs guys in the 20s or 30s in the main event scene. Tribal Chief 0011. He will pass the torch, but he won't make someone over by just losing like the Brock. No, it's not going to be a squash match like Brock Lesnar, but yes, I think he will do it eventually. Seth is not on Roman's level, dude. Yes, Seth Rollins is not on Roman's level. I never said Seth Rollins is not on Roman's level. Roman level's aura is unmatched. That's what I told. Because beating Roman Reigns is a big thing. It's just like beating the Undertaker's undefeated streak. Just like Noah. Yeah, bro, I know you're a Roman Reigns fan. How did you feel when Bronson Reed defeated Roman Reigns last year? So that was huge, man. That was huge for Bronson Reed's career. He was catapulted into the main event scene after that one. So that's what I told. WWE needs to create new big stars. We need guys in 20s and 30s who are in the main event scene. We cannot rely on guys who are aged above 40. WWE is still repeating the same mistake over and over again, but AEW is not at all repeating that mistake. AEW is creating new stars. You have seen the matches in AEW. Have you seen Dynasty, bro? Have you seen AEW Dynasty? Whoa, that was a pay-per-view. That pay-per-view was way better than this year's both nights of WrestleMania. From the starting match to the main event. That was a hell of a pay-per-view, man. You should have seen the tag team matches. Yeah, then you are correct. Beating Roman is a big thing. Yes, my dear friend. Roman should pass the torch. Not like The Rock who did to John Cena after he's retired and after he's in Hollywood. No, not like that. Roman should give to the company from this year onwards. Not just simply losing to the young superstars. No. It should be hard for any superstar to beat Roman Reigns. He should just lose 1 or 2 matches per year. That's a good thing. So if he loses at just 1 or 2 matches, those superstars who are beating them, they're going to be big ones. Huge for Bronson Reed, but WWE's fault. Yeah, what's WWE doing is burying good talents. You have seen how Roman buried Finn Balor's demon, how Goldberg buried Bray Wyatt. See, that's something we cannot accept, man. Those guys had aura, the demon persona, the fiend, and giving those guys a win over them, that's unacceptable, man. AEW gives better pay-per-view than the WWE nowadays. That's a fact. Yes, that's why people are now tuning more into AEW. AEW is purely wrestling, man. So slightly, I am now inclined towards AEW than WWE actually, because they're putting on clinic wrestling matches, not like WWE. See, it's now more about commercials and branding and business, and they're just stuffing in wrestling in just in between in just like seconds. See, they should have given more time to wrestling. That's what us wrestling fans want. We want to see much more wrestling, not just branding and commercials. And in WrestleMania, they have removed all the aura, all the glitz, all the glamour of WrestleMania this year. Pyrotechnics was one of the worst crap thing that I've ever seen in any WrestleMania ever. Wow, what kind of a worse pyrotechnics did they do this year? Before that, they had pyrotechnics outside the building, inside huge pyro, opening pyros, mid pyros, championship victory pyros. What was this year's WrestleMania's pyros, my dear friends? It was absolute trash. What's your opinion on the new Wyatts? Tribal Chief 011 asking me. They have buried the Wyatts actually now. It's now impossible for the Wyatts 6 to come back to a main event scene. I've done a video of a possible match between Damian Priest and Aleister Black last year, and I wanted them to fight for a long period of time, and eventually they should form a new Brothers of Destruction like tag team mentored by The Undertaker, and they should have faced the Wyatt Six in a Firefly Funhouse match. Likewise, I did one video. You can check in my videos. I've done a video like that. So they should have gone with that storyline, but it's now impossible for the Wyatt Six to come back to that horror big time thing. Actually, when WWE gave the tag team titles to the Wyatt Six, the tag team division lost its credibility. Before the Wyatt Six became the tag team champions, that division was just red hot with 5 tag teams giving clinic matches like those AEW, and that was great. The tag team was the best thing that was going on SmackDown. But now, after the Wyatts have handled the tag team championship, after the MFTs now have the tag team championship, now the tag team division has gone to dust. And now they are given the tag team titles to Damian Priest and R-Truth. Actually, they are not even a, tag team. Damian Priest should be a single star, and R-Truth is a comedy piece. The tag team should be given to purely tag team wrestlers. Actually, giving the tag team titles for these guys is actually a disgrace for the tag team wrestlers who are putting their efforts, their lives on the line every time they perform. So that's what my opinion on the Wyatts is. The Wyatt Six have lost their credibility. They need to move away from the MFT storyline, and they should start haunting other superstars. Maybe Aleister Black would be a better option. They can go into supernatural warfare with each other. Now, we have lost Bray Wyatt. His brother is still here, Uncle Howdy. He should be brought into some kind of a main event level scene. We are lacking supernatural characters in the WWE. We need supernatural characters. Judgment Day was actually started as a supernatural group, but after Edge's decline, Edge was thrown out of Judgment Day. Edge wanted the Judgment Day group to be a supernatural group, but the WWE creators did not agree to that. That's why Edge was thrown out of the Judgment Day group. And now look at the condition of Judgment Day right now. 3 female superstars, Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. How that group started and how that group nowadays, absolute trash. MFT have a great potential If WWE is able to utilize them and Damien and R-Truth being champions is just bullshit. Yes, agreed, my dear friend. MFTs have great potential. Tama Tonga have a great potential. Tala Tonga, if WWE builds him to a credible level, he is going to be a, what do you say, new Kane type of character. That kind of aura that kind of guy has. So WWE just needs to build those characters. I think Tama Tonga is going to leave the MFT group soon. He's going to have a singles career. That guy's got unlimited potential. It's high time Tama Tonga starts a, what do you say, singles career. What do you think about Austin Theory? Wasting potential right now. Austin Theory was on the main event scene just 3 years back. He beat John Cena at WrestleMania 39, and after that his life has gone to the drain after Vince McMahon has lost out. So Austin Theory is a big performer in my opinion. He's a main event star. WWE actually needs to push him a little bit harder. He should be on the level of Braun Breaker. But actually he is now a side lackey to Braun Breaker. He is now paired with Logan Paul. Logan Paul is actually a good start too. He should be a mid-carder, not a main eventer. Austin Theory actually should be a main eventer. He has got main event status written all over him. WWE actually is now wasting him. Finn versus Uncle Howdy would be great with a good storyline, but they won't see that, and Howdy is already shown as a shitty character. Yes, yes, yes. Finn versus The Fiend was a missed opportunity from WWE. I think what WWE should do is remove that mask of that Uncle Howdy and give the Fiend mask to him. He should now carry the Fiend mantle. We want the Fiend character back in the WWE. Give him supernatural powers or anything like that. We are missing the Fiend in WWE. The Fiend versus the Demon should happen. That would be great. Solo Sikoa is a great character for me. He should also have a singles career. My dear friend Tribal Chief 0011, how many years have passed since Solo Sikoa has debuted in the WWE? And how many WrestleMania matches did Solo Sikoa have till now? He debuted after WrestleMania 38, 39, 40, both nights, 41, both nights, 42, both nights. Did he have a single match in any of those 7 WrestleMania days? They are just killing Solo Sikoa's character, giving it to part-timers, giving it to YouTubers. Absolute bullshit, man. Solo Sikoa should have a match at this year's WrestleMania at least. It should have, at least that United States Championship should have been made a, what do you want, a fatal 6-way or 10-way or a ladder match for the United States Championship on night 1 would have been better in my opinion, because so many guys actually deserve to be in that WrestleMania card. Ilya Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes, they all deserve to be in that WrestleMania card. Solo Sikoa, they could have made a ladder match for the United States Championship or a fatal 5-way elimination match. Something. They could have brought the WWE Scramble match, which just happened only once. Some kind of variety match should have been there. They could have used those guys instead of wasting them on Andre the Giant's Memorial Battle Royals. Actually, this is what I hate about WWE the most. Yeah, the Fiend character would be great to get back. Yes, Logan Paul is a good performer and athletic style. Yes, we are all amazed with the athleticism of Logan Paul. We never expected that from a YouTuber like Logan Paul. He's a great performer in my opinion. You remember, my dear friend Tribal Chief 0011? You remember the match of Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel? What a spectacular match that was. It was great, man. It was very great. Logan Paul actually is main event caliber status, but he still got to grow up in my opinion. He should learn the business. And under Paul Heyman's tutelage, he can be a main eventer. So Paul Heyman's duty is now grooming young guys to be the next Brock Lesnar, to be the next John Cena, to be the next Roman Reigns. You get all the potential in the vision. So don't let WWE waste those kinds of opportunities for these guys. So we now know what the War Games match is going to be this year. The Vision versus the Bloodline. That's going to be right. Yeah. 4 on 4 or 5 on 5. That's going to be a hell of a match between the Vision and Bloodline 2.0. Great, in my opinion. So my friend Tribal Chief 0011, how did you like tonight's Raw? Did it live up to your expectations? That's what I was doing this video about, how the Raw after Mania sucked today. Could have been made much better, in my opinion. Remember after WrestleMania 29 how Dolph Ziggler surprised everyone with his Money in the Bank cash-in. Actually, Money in the Bank should be made to wait till nights like this. We need championships. Some kind of championship changes should happen. The Raw after Mania. See, then only we will get that credibility of that fiery start to a new season, in my opinion. So, hoping what's going to happen on this SmackDown. I know Cody is not cleared to compete. Of course, I remember Logan was actually looking so good on a match, a high flyer type, running from one side of the ring to another. Even his OMG moments are great from time to time, like Ricochet Mo. Yeah. Did you see AEW Dynasty, my dear friend? Ricochet beat Chris Jericho, Y2J, on AEW Dynasty. So, I want to ask you one thing. Guys, I want to ask you one thing. El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano. Should that match be in a WrestleMania or a AAA PLE? Tonight's Raw was nice, delivered more than what I expected. I expected very less from this Raw. Interesting. Actually, I did not like this Raw. A bit of a less surprises in my opinion. Tribal Chief 011. Yes, and guys, I was just asking you one thing. What do you think? Should El Grande Americano versus OG Americano, should that match should have taken place at this year's WrestleMania, or just like what's going to happen in May, AAA PLE, that match is going to tear the house down, I think, on AAA PLE. I don't know what the name of that PLE is. I think that match should have been made at WrestleMania, in my opinion. And we needed a closure of that MFT versus that White 6 storyline. That match should have also taken place at this year's WrestleMania. But those were the fumble ones, in my opinion. They could have made the card a little bit more interesting. So, That's what I was expecting. So it'll be interesting to see how things going to play out on this week's SmackDown. We'll have to see. Raw was better than expected, but doesn't mean it was actually nice. Average Raw 2.8 out of 5. Yes, average. That's a fine answer. Yes, yes. Raw after Mania being average. Just imagine. Oh my God. How WWE is going downhill. Oh my God. Oh, I don't know what we are going to see, guys, at this year's WWE. It's going to get much worse, and AEW ratings are going to get sky high, and eventually we'll all be forced to stop WWE. They're just thinking about bloody damn business. Just tickets prices too high, attendance records too low, more commercials, branding, oh, YouTubers. Uh, for me, El Grande versus OG Grande was a WrestleMania storyline. Yes, agreed. That should have been there instead of those Speed and Vision versus Usos and LA. Well, yes, yes. Yes, my dear friend, I agreed on that. That match was a WrestleMania worthy match. They're just tearing the house down on AAA. Have you seen that big fight that broken down on that AAA event just weeks before WrestleMania? Oh, Ludwig Kaiser was a big star there. And now it's going to be a mask versus mask match. And Chad Gable is going to lose that mask. It's going to be great. That I'm looking forward, really looking forward to that pay-per-view in May. Oh, those guys are tearing the house down. They're just throwing chairs just like Obo versus Brock in that AAA event. AAA is actually nice. Uh, for that Speed and Vision versus the Usos and LA. Actually, this was not the match that was planned. Actually, on WrestleMania, Bronson Reed versus LA Knight was planned, but they had to change that because of Bronson Reed's timely injury. And then the Vision versus Usos was planned, but now later they had to change it to a 3-on-3 match. How did they come with ISHO Speed? That I don't know. But actually, ISHO Speed performed more than we expected. Kudos to that guy. Yes, ISHO Speed impressed me with his wrestling moves. If he trains it, he can be on a Logan Paul level. That guy has got great athleticism. Speed is one of the best athletes in the world today. If he trains like in the WWE moves or something like that, he can be a good wrestler. Just like that cruiserweights, Rey Mysterio and all that. He can be a better performer in my opinion. But wasting a valuable spot from a wrestler to a YouTuber, that's the thing that I don't like. So that's my take. Speed was just there for TKO. He performed well, but he shouldn't have been there. To be honest, he could have come in any other PLE pay-per-view. That's what I tell. Yes, agreed, my dear friend. How TKO is underutilizing WWE talent. Talents who has just worked 365 days a year, touring all the regions, all the countries for WWE, and not getting a spot on the most talked about or the most privileged card in the wrestling industry. Actually, anybody would feel disgraced. They would leave WWE, to be honest. That's why Tommaso Ciampa left. That's what All the WWE guys left. That's why Chris Jericho is not agreeing to come back to WWE. Yes, it was a waste of a valuable spot. You're absolutely correct. Yes, my dear friend. That's why Chris Jericho is not agreeing to come to WWE. If Chris Jericho had come to WWE, they would have made a match with Gunther against him, and he would have to retire this year itself. That's what TKO will be doing. Maybe at Mania itself. Or Gunther to carry on his career killer persona. Whatever shit that guy is doing. Actually, oh my god. Maybe that guy should be given a championship, that career killer championship. What kind of bullshit is that? Career killer. Guys who are just going to go on their retirement, or this guy has to face in their last match, and if they lose in their last match, then he is named with the moniker career killer. Bloody shit. Yak Moron, yes, 8N said hi. Hi Yak Moron, hi, welcome to the chat. So how was WrestleMania? How was Raw after WrestleMania? You could type down in the chat box below. We're discussing about what's happening in the WWE world. Nowadays, even superstars don't show that aggression for WWE as they used to have before. Looks like everyone is fed up there in WWE, TKO, even their superstars. Botching moves, low promos, low rates. Yes. Agreed. The storylines towards WrestleMania, the build up towards WrestleMania. Bro, did you feel anything? I felt nothing towards the build up towards WrestleMania. When I started watching WWE, WrestleMania felt like what do you say? An end of the world kind of thing. All the promos, all the feuds that would be going towards WrestleMania, every match had their own storyline, and every match felt like it was going to explode. That built up towards WrestleMania 19, WrestleMania 20. It was awesome, man. WrestleMania 21, we had inter-promotional matches. Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels. Randy Orton versus Undertaker. WrestleManias those times felt so special back then. The last WrestleMania which I felt good was WrestleMania 40. That was only because of the Bloodline storyline and that end game type, climax for that WrestleMania. Otherwise, I think WrestleMania died at WrestleMania 31. That was one of the best WrestleManias that I've seen. And after that, even WrestleMania 33 was not up to my expectation. Where was the storyline? There was no actual storyline in this WrestleMania. It was a 2 week ago creator storyline for every match. Agreed. Tribal Chief 0011. There were no storylines, just random matches put towards the WrestleMania card. What these guys are, those guys are just playing with our feelings, man. That's why WrestleMania did not feel special, and it's going to be a forgotten WrestleMania. It was a disaster WrestleMania. So they could have done much better this year. Yeah, last year's WrestleMania was better. Not good, but better. Yes, you're correct. That's because of the bloodline, the Cody versus Roman story. Yes, that was 2 years ago, not last year. So, since 2 years, wrestling sucks, in my opinion. Wrestling in WWE sucks. I think more guys like us, should tune into AEW and promote AEW more than WWE. If you want to see actual wrestling. That's what I think. Yakmuro in 8N said hi, and after that I hear no response. Oh, sorry. Yes, yes, yes. That was 2 years ago, my dear friend. Yes. Eventually, you are correct in most of the opinions. We share the same opinion in most of the things. Actually, you are correct. Yeah, that's no problem because last year's WrestleMania sucked too. My dear friend, Tribal Chief 0011, last year's WrestleMania, it was so bad that he actually forgot it. That's the same. That's the correct thing. That's the correct explanation. Yeah, we are going to forget this year's WrestleMania too, like this WrestleMania never even have existed. We remember the COVID WrestleMania, but we are actually going to forget this year's WrestleMania. The only thing that we are going to remember is Roman Reigns winning the world title in CM Punk. The rest we are going to forget. We will forget that WrestleMania Saturday even existed. That's how at WrestleMania, how that bad that WrestleMania is this year. It's not your fault, my dear friend. It's not your fault. WrestleMania just sucks this year. Can you remind me what happened in WrestleMania last year? Yes, I will tell you. John Cena won his 17th world title in the main event, beating Cody Rhodes. And in WrestleMania Saturday, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns happened, and Seth Rollins beat both those guys with the help of Paul Heyman after Paul Heyman low blowed both those guys. Yes, that's what I remember. And then Jacob Fatu won the United States Championship from LA Knight. Yeah. And what do you say? Drew McIntyre beat Damian Priest in a Sin City street fight. Then we had a fatal four-way match for the Intercontinental Championship. Penta, Braun Breaker, Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor. Dominic Mysterio won the Intercontinental Championship in that match. Yes. And what do you say? Yeah, that's what I remember about last year's WrestleMania. I hope I refreshed your memory. Any other matches that I remember? I'm still thinking. Guys, if you could help me out, how other matches happened on last year's WrestleMania? Those are the matches that I remember. Oh yeah, the opening match. Who could forget the disaster? Jey Uso winning the World Heavyweight Championship from Gunther. That was the opening match on last year's WrestleMania. I hope I refreshed your memory, Tribal Chief. I acknowledge you, my Tribal Chief. Rest of the matches I don't remember. Oh yeah, now I remember the triple threat match. Vision getting started. Cena Hilton. Vision actually haven't started that time. It was days after WrestleMania. Actually, the Vision started. And Braun Breaker being on the side, it was days after that one. I think last year's WrestleMania was way better than this year's WrestleMania. Only I did not like the stage and pyrotechnics of last year as well. This year, absolute suck. Jey was Jey winning. Gunther was just yeet. Yeah. Personally, I did not like Jey winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Yes, and an underdog wins the title, but Yes, you've seen what's the point, right? Beating Gunther is a big thing. So it created a superstar like Jay into it and catapulted him to the main event status. See, beating guys like Gunther and Roman Reigns is just another kind of accolade. That's how WWE is promoting those guys. That's what we were discussing earlier. Beating Roman Reigns is a big thing right now, just like beating Gunther. You know a stat? Gunther has never been defeated on a one-on-one non-title match ever after coming into WWE. He has never lost a non-title one-on-one match till now. That's the stat of Gunther. He has lost only championship matches. He has never tapped out as well. Gunther is actually projected as a monster heel. Not just an ordinary heel, he's a monster heel. Yeah, last year's WrestleMania was better as much as I remember, yeah. So that's what I was telling my dear friend. Gunther is one of the big guys right now. Gunther and Roman Reigns. Beating those two guys just catapult those superstars into the finals. Jay winning a championship is not a bad thing, but winning it by beating Gunther, that too on WrestleMania, that was just yeah, that's what I told. Yeah, beating Gunther is a big thing. Beating on the grand stage is a big thing. But Jey Uso beating Gunther, if that was a triple threat match, and if the third guy would have taken the pin, it would have been much more credible. Now, I agree to you, my dear friend, but Gunther is one of the best heel on the company. Today's WWE is actually interesting to look at. Yes, only his theme sucks, and only his ring gear sucks. Otherwise, Gunther is one of the best things that's going on in WWE right now. Actually, he's one of the best heels, but actually he's been projected too boringly. He's always wearing that same black underwear with no other tattoos or no other armbands, nothing like that. Just a plain guy coming on with a scowl on his face. And one of the worst themes I've ever seen in my entire life. Ugh. Actually, that's kind of boring. But Gunther as a wrestler, banger after banger, my dear friend. That's how I feel. So, we got so many guys on Raw. It's too crowded on Raw, actually. These guys never been beaten. Just look at the names, man. Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, Gunther, Roman Reigns, and now the new reformed Finn Balor. Oh, too many big names right now on WWE Raw. I think the draft's going to be coming soon. Some of these guys I think is going to get drafted to SmackDown. Do you remember Gunther saying, "I wish I was in Madrid"? Ha! Madrid in a show in Barcelona. Yeah, I don't remember that actually. But I think I remember that one. Yes. Yeah, now I remember that one. Yes. I will give you a better one. This is the most infamous one. He told to Bret Hart that Goldberg was his favorite wrestler. That was just plain cold. Gunther is good at mic work as well. Yeah, man, there's too many guys, too many superstars that WWE is slowly killing. Yeah, we need new management, man. Vince McMahon should buy back WWE from TKO. WWE should be an independent company. That's the best thing. And our TKO is just plain business, man. The wrestlers are getting frustrated by the TKO's contract. They have lost many perks, and when WWE was an independent company compared to what WWE is now, many wrestlers have lost their valuable points or stats in their career and on that contract as well. TKO's contract is very much harsh. He nailed it there. Gunther is good at my yes. Now, TKO's new contract won't allow WWE wrestlers to compete in any other promotion. I think even after 90 days, look at what they did to Andrade. Andrade left the company, then had to wait till time, then he had to rejoin in WWE, then he had to go to AEW. See, they're killing many guys' future as well as the pensions they're giving to retired wrestlers and everything. They're slowly cutting. They're giving us profits on shares and everything like that. It's going to be hard for WWE wrestlers to stay like this for too long. They might shift or jump to another company soon. They're just slowly killing WWE. So that's what WWE is cooking these days. So I think this is what's recap on this week's Raw. And guys, I'll see you after SmackDown. Tribal Chief 0011. Yes, you are my number one fan, my dear friend. I'm not a fan. You are my number one friend right now. Nobody has chatted like this to me till now. You have become my friend. Thank you, Tribal Chief 0011. I'll see you, especially after SmackDown. This week, the coming draft might be interesting to see. Yes, they are not doing draft as previously. They're just randomly picking guys and shifting. Actually, wasn't this guy Jacob Fatu a SmackDown superstar? How did he come to Raw? Was there a trade? See, superstar shakeups are not being done seriously as they have been doing previously. So suddenly Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre is over. I heard Drew McIntyre went for filming some kind of movie or TV series or something like that. That's why he's taking time off. Maybe that's why Jacob Fatu is not into another programming. So they're given him to Raw. Something like that. Yeah, draft should be serious. Previously, draft was serious. 2 general managers picking lots. That was one kind of format. And then after that, Raw versus SmackDown happened. And those guys winning the matches wins draft picks for their respective brands. That's how they did the draft in 2008 and 9. How John Cena was drafted to SmackDown, then to Raw. The draft should be made big time serious, in my opinion. Oh yeah. Alright, man, I'll see you on SmackDown. Subbed already. Thank you. Thank you, my Tribal Chief. I acknowledge you, my Tribal Chief 0011. Thank you, my dear friend. We'll come and discuss after SmackDown on Saturday this week. Thank you. You take care, my dear friend. Take care. I'll see you this weekend. It's nighttime here, so I'm going to say have a good night. Have a good weekend ahead, and I'll see you on SmackDown. Sorry, after SmackDown. Thank you. Take care. You take care too, my dear brother. Take care too.